Hello everyone, my name is Devashish Rai. I'm the head of training and development at the Indian Cybersecurity Solution, and I welcome you all to this special webinar today. And today's topic is a very important one. That is the AWS Certificate Manager and Private CA architecture. So we will be exploring what is the certificate authority and what is the difference between, say, the root CA, subordinate CA, and what is the importance of private key, public key, this PKI or the public key infrastructure. So let's begin. So we'll be discussing AWS Certificate Manager, ACM, and private C architecture, and how to manage SSL TLS certificates, secure socket layer, transport level security using AWS Certificate Manager and the architecture of private certificate authorities. So, what is a certificate authority? Certificate authority is such a company which gives you encryption keys like private key and public key. Private key, you use it to actually decrypt your data. That is like private key, everybody has its own private key, and public key is used to encrypt or to send the data. So, what is the AWS Certificate Manager? What is the role of Certificate Manager in this encryption and decryption? So AWS Certificate Manager ACM automates the management of SSL TLS certificates. Now, if I am owning a web server, now I should manage it with the private and public key because it is an asymmetric encryption. So encryption in the network security is of two types, symmetric and asymmetric. Symmetric means you are having the same key, a shared or the pre-shared key for encryption and decryption both. Now, that is a security loophole. Definitely, it is a security misconfiguration. Now, instead of that, you have to use a private and public key, two different keys. One is for the decryption, that is a private key that you only have, other persons do not have, and the public key for encrypting data. And it allows for seamless integration with AWS services. Now, it enhances security by ensuring that all data transferred over the internet is encrypted and thereby safeguarding sensitive information from potential threats and outside attacks. Then, what is the private certificate authority? Certificate authority is generally the public one, like you have the Google, you have the VeriSign. There are different CAs of certificate authority which gives you this private and public key. But what is about this private CA? Private C enables organizations to issue and manage their own digital certificates tailored to internal needs. Now, this is related to the organization specific. Now, if I'm the organization and I'm issuing a certificate like the Google, it's a public CA, but let's say it's a private CA. Like that, it is a private organization that is actually behaving as a CA. That is a private CA. And it is issuing the digital certificate that it contains a digital signature, it is a private key and public key. This setup not only increases security but also provides greater oversight of certificate issuance and in the lifecycle management. And it ensures that adherence to organizational policies and compliance requirements are followed. Now, what are the key features of ACM? Automated certificate renewal, integration with AWS services like, say, the S3 bucket, the AWS Lambda, these things, and automation also. Centralized management of certificates, so it's a central repository. There is a certificate manager it has. Then support for public and private certificates like the digital signature, which has the private key, and digital certificate, which has the public key. Now, what are the benefits of using private CA? Strong internal security controls means you can have the control of the internal security with the private key. If you are having the private CA, you are issuing the certificate. Tailored certificate usage policies or the security policies you can implement. Then independence from external CA, because you do not need to say depend on the external CA or do not need to buy those certificates from the external CA. So definitely it is user friendly and cost effective, and streamlined compliance processes there. Then what is about ACM? AWS Certificate Manager architecture, if I show you, architecture encompasses various components that facilitate the efficient management of SSL TLS certificate. SSL that is a very secure protocol, and it is a very secure protocol in case of, say, smart key authentication, that is also in that case. key elements include automated certificate provisioning, renewal process, and seamless deployment across AWS services. And it ensures that security and compliance are maintained without any manual intervention. So it is totally automatic. You are not actually requesting a certificate manually. It is giving automatically, everything is automized because we are moving towards the automation, as we already know. So CA is also automation now. Now, what about private C architecture? Private C architecture is designed to provide organizations with a robust framework for managing internal certificates. It includes the Root Certificate Authority or the Root CA. On top, that is the Root CA, Root Certification Authority, that acts as a trust anchor and one or more subordinate CS that issue certificates to end entities. So, on top, Root CA, then you have the subordinate CA that is just beneath the root CA, and root CA issues the certificates to the subordinate CA, and subordinate CA issues to the clients. So that is architecture, and it facilitates a secure and controlled certificate lifecycle management process. Now, how ACM and private CA work together? ACM is automated management of public certificates. Now, AWS Certificate Manager automates the provisioning, renewal, and management of public SSL TLS certificates, and it facilitates seamless integration with AWS services. So it is actually working together, and it reduces administrative overhead by eliminating the need for manual certificate management that I've already told you, and it ensures that applications remain secure without interruptions. And private CA, custom control for internal certificates. So private CA provides organizations with the ability to issue and manage their own internal certificates. So you are a private CA and your organizations require certificates, so you can give it. This allows for greater control over the certificate lifecycle, and it includes customized policies and security requirements that align with internal governance and still complementing ASIM's public certificate capabilities. Now, what are the use cases for ASIM and private CA? Where it is used? 80% of organizations use SLTLS certificates to secure web applications. 60% of enterprises have implemented private CAs for internal application security. 90% of organizations report improved compliance with industry regulations after using ACM and private CA. So everything is getting improvised here, and 50% reduction in certificate management time due to automation with ACM. So these things, as you can see, these are very important. Now, what are the best practices for implementing the ASM and privacy? How to implement it? Now, assess certificate needs. You have to identify the types of certificates required for your applications and determine whether public, private, or both are necessary. First, you have to determine what is your objective, and then you can implement it. Then choose ACM or private C. Evaluate the specific requirements of your organization. Decide between your using AWS Certificate Manager or establishing a private CA, whether you can go for the public or the private, that you have to choose. Then implement security policies. Develop and enforce security policies that govern the issuance, renewal, and revocation of your certificates. And then monitor and manage certificates. You have to regularly review certificate status, expiration dates, and compliance with security standards to ensure that the uninterrupted service is there. So AWS security best practices include effective certificate management that is crucial for maintaining security and trust in digital communications, because security is paramount to the cloud always. So that is about the encryption technologies and the certificate authority in theory. And now I would like to take you to this AWS console. And here you can see that we have the AWS Private Certificate Authority. So if you search there, then you'll find this AWS Private Certificate Authority that you can set up actually as a private CA, and you can enable creation of private certification authority hierarchy, including root and subordinate CAs. So you can just go through this documentation that the AWS offers. AWS Managed Certificate Authority is a managed service that automates time-consuming administrative tasks such as hardware provisioning, software patching, high availability, all these things, and everything is automized here. and also secure root CA and CA hierarchy management. So what you need to do, you can create a private certificate authority or CA. So click on the create a private CA here, and here you are getting the mode options like say general purpose or short-lived certificate or a root. So I'm actually making the root. So CA type options are root CA or a subordinate CA. But first you cannot create a subordinate CA, because first you have to make a root CA, and then you can create a subordinate CA which is connected to the root CA. So let it be root CA first, and subject distinguished names in the DN format, organization, says say unit, say anything, say training, country, you have to choose the country, and if you choose India, state or province, so I think you have to just write here if it's not coming, and say city, anything you want, you have to fill it up. And common name, say certificate common name, say this is the 123. And this is the algorithms options. So if you're having different algorithms like the MLDSA, that is a very important algorithm you're having, or classical key algorithms like the Reves Shamir RSA algorithm. So you can go for RSA also, and that is the key value 2048 is the lowest one. You can go for RSA 4096. RSA, as we know, that is a very secure algorithm you have. Certificate revocation, you if you want, then you can activate serial revocation or serial distribution point, or else you just need to authorized ACM access to renew certificates requested by this account. And pricing also, you have to acknowledge that you'll be charged a monthly fee for the operational private C until I delete it. So please remember that you, after configuring it for learning purpose, just decommission it right after you use it, because otherwise your billing will continue. So you just check there and you click on create CA, and yes, your CA requested successfully done, and now it is pending the certificate. So root CA, it is actually being configured, and this is the say common name OU. So everything it is taking. The CA certificate is not ready yet, and it should be ready anytime. Just refresh it. It will take some time to get ready for the root CA. It is pending the certificate, and it is taking the key algorithm, everything it has taken. And once it is completed, then it will show you the pending certificate of the CA. So root CA will have a certificate, and then this certificate, it can actually issue to the subordinate CAs, and subordinate CAs can be in any country, in any organization, and then it can connect directly to the customers or users. That is the hierarchy that we maintain here. So you can have this by permissions by this time, or ACM authorization for renewals that you can edit, revocation. So this stage is not configured fully, so I think revocation list is not coming because you haven't actually revoked any certificate. So it's taking some time to actually build its certificate. As you can see, the pending certificate, it is there. So your root CA is actually configured, but it will actually go to the certificate, and also you can go to this AWS Certificate Manager. So I can show you this one also. We can explore. This is AWS Certificate Manager, easily provision, manage or deploy and renew SLTLS certificate. So you can create a private CA that we have already doing, and request a certificate to the CA. So you can have a request for a public certificate. That is also very important. Like if you have, say, managed to create a web server or any server if you're having, then you have to actually send a request for a certificate, and then you have to give the fully qualified domain name of that CA, and the CA should be actually this complete process should be done, only then you can request the certificate, because you need this particular this name. So still it is showing some pending certificate. So it is created, but it hasn't been issued some certificate. So as you can see, root CA is already configured. So what you can do, you can for this is a subject, it's a common name, and you can have this domain name, fully qualified domain name. So you should have the DNS domain names there of the CA. But here the DNS is not configured, and I think this is a root CA that is there. But still, I think you need to have some certificate, digital certificate, to actually making it work. So, and I don't think it is totally free that you have to deploy a CA there and it will work. It may not be that case. So you have to just go through the documentation, because the AWS changes its documentation from time to time, and then we can actually be sure that whether, see, the state status is pending certificate, so it is not getting that certificate, maybe it is taking some time, and after that only you'll be able to view the DNS name. So actually it will take the fully qualified domain name, FQDN, one or more domain names for certificates. So if you are going to request a certificate, then you have to say ser1 dot icass.com, that anything we have to give, and key algorithm RSA, and you have to request the certificate. So this is a pending validation that is there, but this is actually going to the Amazon, and this is pending the validation. So it is going to the CA, and this is the private CA that you are making, and the root CA, and then this is going to the CA for the certificate renewal. And I think it will take some time before they verify, and then they will allow you to do it. And also, as it is a free account, also maybe there is some restriction, so you have to go through the documentation so that we can fully use this here, because still it is showing the pending, and you can see all the DNS records coming, like the CNAME record, like the alias record you are seeing. So, and the CNAME record is value, everything we can see. So at least this CA is actually going to submit this request. This certificate request is submitted to the CA, and this is the way actually to make the CA and to verify the certificate authority. You can go to the list certificates also, and you can see that Amazon issued. So its validation is pending, but the certificate is already issued. So I can click on this certificate, and you can see the domain names and the public information. So actually you are seeing every information, although it is not validated or it is not in use, but already the CA, the root CA has issued the certificate. You can see the signature algorithm, everything, the RSA, SHA 256, everything we can actually see. So it is definitely in a working condition, and the AWS, the root CA, you can actually manage to issue your certificates. And if you are making any web server, file server, email server, database server, these certificates will be in great use for you. So this is about the practical implementation. As you can see, it is in the root CA that you are seeing. So that is the practical part that I've shown you about the AWS Certificate Manager, how you can use a certificate manager to create a private root CA, and how you can actually request the certificate uh, to the root CA, and definitely it will issue certificate to you. So that is a very important part for your cloud infrastructure, because if you are actually securing your network, then you have to definitely incorporate the encryption, the cryptography that we say, PKI, public infrastructure, the cryptography there that you have to incorporate there. So this AWS Certificate Manager and Private C architecture is a very important part for your AWS training certification, like AWS certificate, the Solution Architect Associate certification that you have. So that for Solution Architect Associate and the Solution Architect Professional, and also for the AWS security part, because AWS security is for the cloud security. So for this cloud security, this certificate manager and private CA, it is very vital for you. And you have to know and understand this privacy architecture very well in order to get past this exam. And cloud is sky high nowadays. The limit is sky high, because cloud engineers are even more than the layer 3 engineers, like the Cisco engineers. They're earning even more because limitless, and the possibilities limitless in the cloud infrastructure. And as you know, the security is paramount to the cloud, and we cannot compromise with the cloud infrastructure. So that is about the AWS Certificate Manager and Privacy Architecture that I have for today. And I thank you all for joining and watching this webinar once again. And I have a very good news for you. There is a contest going on, and I have made a questionnaire, and there are 10 questions. And if you can give at least 8 correct answers of these questions, you will be eligible for a certificate. Just think about that. You'll be eligible for a certificate just answering the questions that will be invaluable for you. And also, if you enroll yourselves for any course today, you will get flat 10% discount for today. And I urge everybody to enroll themselves right now. And as a very senior trainer of the network and cloud technology and cloud security, I can teach you personally, and I can guide you for your certificate objectives. And definitely, if you are preparing for AWS Solution Architect Associate or any certifications, definitely you should enroll themselves right now. And cloud certifications are on high demand nowadays. So I hope that this AWS Certificate Manager and Privacy Architecture webinar was very beneficial for you, and you have got an immense knowledge from this, and you'll be also able to incorporate this knowledge in practice in your enterprise also, with the practicals that I've shown you. So that is about the webinar on the AWS Certificate Manager right now. I'll come with some new topics next time. Till then, keep studying, and bye.